More than 1.3 million have died, including people that we love. Many of us have begun to process our complicity in and acceptance of racist behaviors. And after a 2-year study, this week, the Vatican released the long-awaited McCarrick Report, pointing to cultural and institutional and systemic failures in addressing concerns that surfaced during McCarrick's tenure as leader of the Metuchen, Newark, and Washington, D.C. dioceses. Against that backdrop, I'm curious how today's gospel message landed with you. What message did you take from it? Is it a lesson in capitalism? Invest and double your money. Or use it or lose it? Is that how you think about the gifts you've been given? Or did you find it particularly and unusually harsh, with the third worker being denigrated as worthless and lazy? We know that parables often have multiple layers of meaning. The word itself translates as riddle, and riddles aren't always obvious. Reflecting on this passage, I found myself increasingly uncomfortable with the setup, and specifically how the third worker was treated. Ultimately, I came upon William Herzog's book, Parables as Subversive Speech, Jesus as Pedagogue of the Oppressed, that offered a liberation theology interpretation of this parable. Herzog sees the message of the parables as part of a larger strategy that led eventually to Jesus's execution as an enemy of the state. What he calls paraboling, or telling stories orally, was risky business, especially when it was done with the intent of exposing contradictions between the actual situation of those listening and the Torah. Speaking truth to the masses threatened the social, the political, and the economic underpinnings of the ruling class. Herzog presents the third worker in our parable as a whistleblower who's punished for speaking the truth and exposing the wealthy landowner's ruthlessness, not for failing to make a profit. What I know for sure is that each and every one of us is filled with light. In fact, yesterday began Diwali, the 5-day Hindu festival of lights. Diwali symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. So as we join with our Hindu neighbors, how might we circulate love? This past September, Omega Institute co-founder Elizabeth Lesser was interviewed by Maria Shriver during a Zoom book launch of Lesser's book, Cassandra Speaks. Elizabeth Lesser coined the term inner-vism. That's INNER-VISM, to describe the kind of activism that requires looking within. It is essential and inextricably linked to the work each of us does in the world. She suggests that actually getting courageous enough to look at ourselves and how we are contributing to the problems we are anxious about helps to build stamina for turbulent times. And let's face it, folks, these are turbulent times. The idea of inner vism balanced with activism resonates with me. We are doing it. We're doing this, circulating love each time we listen, surprise someone, make that meal, pick up the phone, smile behind our masks, donate food, or do what you do to light our world. Please keep doing it. Many of us are involved in book clubs. I want to share one action that grew out of our reading group's conversation a week ago Friday that resulted in Polly drafting a letter suggesting that the book Cast by Isabel Wilkerson be required reading in high schools and emailing that to superintendents of schools. Small idea, potential, significant impact. Opportunities abound in our households and families, locally, nationally, and internationally, even as we are socially distant. I urge you, put yourself in circulation. Speak truth. Circulate love. God bless you.